Welcome to AviatorDB News Briefing. Today is Saturday, June 6th, 2026. Here's a look at weather across the nation today. In the East Coast, New York is looking at moderate drizzle with a high of 94 and a low of 69. In the central U.S., Chicago is looking at light drizzle with a high of 80 and a low of 64. In the West Coast, Los Angeles is looking at overcast with a high of 80 and a low of 61. Here are today's top stories. Santa Teresa plane crash leaves 3 seriously injured at KDNA. Lufthansa 787 nose gear retracts at Frankfurt gate, injuring crew. Lufthansa 787 nose gear collapses at Frankfurt gate, injures crew. NTSB continues probe into fatal Beechcraft Bonanza crash off Florida. Now for the details. A Santa Teresa plane crash involving a small single-engine aircraft left 3 people with life-threatening injuries Friday morning. The incident occurred around 11 a.m. local time on June 5, 2026, near a runway at the Doña Ana County International Jetport, KDNA, in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. According to Sunland Park Fire Chief Daniel Medrano, witnesses at the airport managed to pull 2 occupants from the wreckage before emergency crews arrived. Firefighters subsequently extricated a 3rd person who remained trapped inside the aircraft. 2 of the victims were airlifted by Native Air medical helicopters, while the 3rd was transported by ground ambulance. Hospital assessments later indicated that 2 victims were in serious but stable condition, while 1 remains in critical condition. Investigation underway. New Mexico State Police are leading the on-scene investigation. While the aircraft has been described as a Cessna-style plane, officials have not yet released the registration number or confirmed the pilot's identity. Federal involvement by the Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board is expected as part of the standard investigation into the crash. Investigators are expected to review pilot certification, aircraft maintenance records, and environmental conditions to determine the cause of the accident. Incident at Frankfurt Airport. A Lufthansa Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner suffered a nose landing gear retraction while parked at a passenger gate at Frankfurt Airport on June 4, 2024. The incident occurred around 12:45 p.m. local time as ground crews were preparing the aircraft for a scheduled flight to Los Angeles, LH-450. According to Lufthansa, the nose gear unexpectedly retracted, causing the forward fuselage to drop abruptly onto the apron. Injuries and damage. Lufthansa confirmed that several staff members were injured during the event and received medical treatment, though no life-threatening injuries or fatalities were reported. The sudden drop caused the aircraft to strike a cargo scissor lift pallet loader, resulting in damage to both the loader and the aircraft's forward fuselage. No passengers were on board at the time of the incident, and the flight to Los Angeles was subsequently canceled. Investigation and technical context. An investigation is being conducted by Lufthansa, German aviation authorities, and Boeing to determine the cause of the retraction. Analysis of ramp footage suggests the gear moved upward into the wheel well rather than suffering a structural collapse. While a similar incident involving a British Airways 787 at London Heathrow in 2021 was attributed to an incorrectly installed downlock pin, investigators have not yet established a link between that event and the Frankfurt incident. A Lufthansa Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner suffered a nose landing gear collapse while parked at a gate at Frankfurt Airport, injuring several staff members. The aircraft, registration DABPQ, was being prepared for flight LH-450 to Los Angeles when the nose gear unexpectedly retracted, causing the aircraft to fall forward onto its nose. No passengers were aboard at the time of the incident, according to reports from ABC News and Flight Radar 24. However, 2 cabin crew members and several ground service employees sustained minor injuries and were transported to a hospital for treatment. Lufthansa canceled the flight and rebooked affected passengers on alternative flights. Lufthansa said it is investigating the incident in coordination with relevant authorities. While some aviation analysts have noted similarities to a 2021 British Airways incident involving a missing downlock pin, There is no evidence suggesting the same cause in this case. Technicians remain on site, assessing damage to the aircraft. The National Transportation Safety Board is continuing its investigation into the February 2024 crash of a Beechcraft A36 Bonanza that killed Dan Kirk Fortis III. Fortis, a 45-year-old construction executive from Vicksburg, Mississippi, and son of former Governor Kirk Fortis, was the sole occupant when the aircraft went down in waters off Daytona Beach, Florida. According to NTSB records, the aircraft is listed as missing and presumed destroyed. Investigators are analyzing air traffic records, weather data, and witness accounts to determine the sequence of events leading to the impact. Preliminary data indicates Fortis was an experienced private pilot rated for single-engine land aircraft who frequently used general aviation for business and personal travel. Investigation status. While the NTSB has released preliminary factual information, a final report detailing the probable cause has not been published. Federal investigators are reviewing the aircraft's maintenance history, the pilot's medical status, and meteorological conditions during the flight. Due to the overwater impact and lack of recovered wreckage, the agency noted that full analysis typically requires 12 to 24 months for completion. That's all we have for today. You can get the latest aviation news at aviatordb.com.